You are live. Yay. Islam. We are live. We are live. Islam, Islam, Islam. We are here. We are here. We are here. That helps a lot. Okay. Islam, peace and love. Greetings to the Moors. Yeah, make sure I get that in there. Yeah. Y'all like my shirt? Anyway, Islam, peace and greetings. First, let me give all praise to the great God Allah and gratitude and honors to the forerunner Marcus Messiah Garvey and our prophet in these days, the honorable and noble Prophet Drew Ali. All right, I made it. Yay, hooray, hooray, hooray. So it is day 13/14, depending on how you look at days, of the 77 days of elevation. Right? I say 13/14 because I intended on coming on a little earlier, but the day got away from me, which isn't a surprise considering where the moon is. Today the moon is in Aries, right? So get the introduction out the way, and I'm not gonna keep y'all long because it's 11 o'clock at night, and I actually have to be up in the morning. I am Sister Tahida S. Najio La El of Califa Media. Please call me Zahra Bay. I might have to break that down one day why I say that. You can find all my information at Linktree/Califa Media. Please, those who are on YouTube, peace and love. And please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. All right, so announcements. First day, announcements. It is day 13, like I said, or 14 of the 77 days of elevation. If you go by days by, okay, once it's sunset, that the day where the sun was shining is over, right? Or if you go by midnight, right? So we're in 13/14. All right. And again, gratitude to those who encourage me to keep going. Thank you. That really helps. And those who let me know, they've been sending me emails, tagging me and stuff, letting me know what they're up to. Learning Spanish, working on getting closer to their tarot cards. Like, yeah, what have you been meaning to get to? It looks really interesting, but you're having trouble getting a kickstart. Here's your chance, right? Next announcement: Drewality, the new album by Roots K and Anonymous, is available in the shop at Califa Media. And along with the download, you also get a link to the album. I I was like, okay, I don't want to take up the space on my phone. So I uploaded the album to YouTube and it's on a private channel. So if when you buy the album, along with that, you get a link to the private channel, so you can just listen to it on the go too. All right. And the album is fire. So if you follow me on Instagram, I've been putting up reels and putting snippets from their album in there, so you can check that out. That's Duality by Anonymous and Roots K. Uh, Oh, Seven Connections. Oh, and those who wondering, I have my notes because I respect your time. Seven Connections Moorish Matchmaking is on Instagram. All right. So if you're looking for a partner, hope Allah willing a consort, looking to nation build, you can hit them up. That's Seven Connections on on IG. I'm gonna have to see if they have a website in the works. Let's see. Okay, to the astrology. All right. Since more seem to like the astrology, which is great. We need to be tuning in because not you won't always have like instruments outside of you, so you better use this tuning fork, right? And then I'm gonna try to stay on task as much as possible, but I just think about how magic wands, right? If you know anything about the wizarding world of Harry Potter, I kind of slipped into it and got like too deep into it a couple of years back, and found out about Wagadoo, right? It's a Africa. It's a like Harry Potter school, except this one is in Africa, and it's the oldest, and I think it's the biggest, and it's the most prestigious. These children don't have like magic wands; they have a finger. Now, if you think about it, what does our finger look like, right? And it's funny, nobody wants to be around those children, even the teachers, because they're like, we don't know what they know if they're children who don't need a wand, they're just using their finger, right? Sound familiar? Don't nobody want to be around y'all because they know they can't compete. Anyway, so today's astrology. I'm gonna go through the list and then I'll break it down. Right now we are finishing up on a fourth quarter waning moon in Aries. All right. And today is still Mars Day. It's Tuesday, right? It goes void, of course, tomorrow, July 20th at 10:19 a.m. And then it's moving into Taurus. It's void, of course, so it's not making any angles to any other planets at 10 from 10 o'clock till 2 p.m. when it moves into Taurus. All right. So it goes void at 10:19 a.m. and it moves into Taurus at 2:23 p.m. And those times are Eastern. All right. Today, Mercury moved into Leo at 8:35 a.m. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Right? It goes very nicely with that Aries moon. Let's see. So right now the moon in Aries is squaring the sun in Cancer by sign. If you're looking at the degrees, no, it's not squaring it. But if you look at the sign, I just throw that in because that's how Vedic astrology looks at it. They look at it as a sign. So it's like, okay, even if your Mars is 0 degrees Aries and your Venus is 29 degrees Pisces, they say they're not conjunct because they're in different signs. But if your Mars is 0 degrees Aries and 29 degrees, your Venus is 29 degrees Aries, they say they're conjunct because Aries rules the whole house. They're not looking at it like, well, we're right next to each other. No, you're in the room. You're in the room with me. That kind of thing. So I guess the zodiac will be the house. So you're in the room with me. All right. So that's why I'm saying Aries is squaring. No, I'm sorry. The moon is squaring the sun by sign. All right. And all that fire and throwing in a square, the theme is angry love. All right. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Get comfortable. Let's go in. All right. So again, what is the moon? Mind, emotions, home, privacy, nurturing, women, mother's milk, mother's milk, your nationality or your motherland, your fourth house. It rules the sign of Cancer, rapid changes because it moves so fast around the zodiac, especially emotional. What is Aries? Aries is impulsiveness, aggressiveness, competitiveness, competitive sports, bossiness, action, frustration, the first house, spring, motivation, selfishness, sharp things, iron. You know, Aries actually rules needlework, right? Iron, like sharp things and iron, right? The head and Tuesday, right? Right now, Mars is ruling this transit of the moon. So the moon is in Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. So Mars is telling Aries how to act, or the moon how to act in his house, right? And right now, Mars is dictating to the moon in its house while sitting in the house next door in Taurus. All right. Wow. Now that I think about this, that kind of makes me think that if you think about it, because I like to use the Vedic astrology version of the moon, where it's your mind. If you think about it, the moon is giving you clues on how you can like gain, right? I won't say gain what, because it depends on what houses Aries and Taurus rule in your chart. For instance, oh wow, that's actually why I'm doing this tonight. Aries and Taurus rule my 7th and 8th house. So I'm gonna go into the astrology first and then I'll get to the examples. Okay, so read you the definition of moon, read you the definition of Aries. What is a fourth quarter moon? It's about reorientation, transition, and completion, because it's the last quarter before the new moon is a new cycle, right? It's about reorientation, transition, and completion. I don't know why I put that in there twice. Okay, so moon in Aries, the way I like to think of it is like Braveheart, right? Leo and Aries, the moon in Leo can be considered kind of Braveheart too, but it's more of a noble heart, kingly, because it's the king, right? Ruled by the sun. So Aries is like the soldier, the go-getter, the Olympian. So it's a brave heart, right? So I'm gonna read you a definition I found. We're motivated. So when the moon is transiting, not your natal, when the moon is transiting through Aries, we're motivated by a strong desire to start fresh. A gut instinct to start something new is with us now, as well as the gumption to do so. Our pioneering impulses are strong and we feel energetic, spontaneous, and enthusiastic. We may also be tactless and impulsive now. Excess energy is best channeled into physical activity, and that is from cafeastrology.com when the moon is in HTML. All right. So, the theme of angry love. And like I said, I'm not going to keep y'all too long because I actually have to be up at like 6 in the morning. Moon in Aries is trining the Mercury in Leo by sign and separating from Jupiter in Aries. All right. So, the moon is okay. So we may have been telling people off or telling them like it is, like no filter. Well, yeah, with a filter, because no filter is Sagittarius. So we've been telling people like it is with the best of intentions. All right. I might have to put somebody on blast because it's a great example. No, it's not to like shade them and be like, I told him. No, it's just a good example, right? Because we're telling people what they need to hear in order to evolve, right? And it's love expressed through physical activity or competition, all right? Because the moon, it's just how you nurture or how you've been nurtured. So you nurture, you show your love by, hey, child, sit down and play this video game with me, which was funny because I have a 5-year-old and I have all the little, baby games for her, but she wanted to play her big brother's fighting game where she gets to ride a big beast and has wield a huge sword. It's like, okay, she's pretty good at it too. So I'm like, all right, have at it. So since the moon is in Aries, the example, telling people off, right, with the best of intentions. Peace and love to all who have joined and will join later on or see this another time. Good example, right? And I don't know this brother personally. I asked a question, he responded. And so I didn't think I responded back because I'm like, I think you're in error. So I went on to a website and asked the Grand Sheik a question because I heard him speak a few weeks back and he was talking about the business formation that he has for his temple. And I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to I have a nonprofit, but I like how yours sounds. I want to do some more research into it. And he gives me the answer. And then here comes a brother who says, again, my brother, because, hey, ain't no beef. It's just, hey, it's an exchange, right? And says you should form a foreign corporation. As long as and something about it, as long as you put America on it, you'll be fine. Okay. And it was like, I say something like that because I'm a strong believer in eloquence and brevity. I think that's from Einstein, or it might be Oscar Wilde, where and I think Einstein says this: if it takes you forever to say it, you don't know what you're talking about. All right. So when I see a manifesto, I stop reading, right? Because I figure you don't know what you're talking about. And I read the first sentence, I read the last sentence, Cliff Note style. And I'm just like, oh, I've heard of these before. And, they don't make no sense. I just said they don't make no sense to me. I'm going to ask you some questions. One, have you done this? You're telling me to do this whole drawn out procedure when the Grand Sheik that I actually asked the question, he said, just do this. And that was like, okay, based on what I know, because I know quite a bit about business and corporate setups and all that stuff. It's like, okay, that's going to be easy, right? It's not saying, oh, y'all could do that because it's so simple. No, that's going to be easy. What you're suggesting, I could do that too, but it seems a lot more involved and I ain't got time. I really don't, right? And I don't want to make time for it because it just seems if it's got to be doing all that, it's something ain't right about it, right? Eloquence and brevity, right? So I asked him, did you do it? That's always the first question. You got this long procedure, drawn out procedure. I'm guessing you did it. Have you done it? Right? I should have asked. I didn't ask him like, what did you do with it, right? The second question was, why would I set up something foreign on my land, right? And then I can't remember the third question I had for him. It must not be important, but I think those are the two main ones. Like, have you done this? Because people are always talking about what you should do, and it's like, like the package sellers, how they insist they can get you billions of dollars. They got their unlimited account, but they need you to give them some money. That to me screams you haven't done this, because the way my business is set up, Califa Media, I have such confidence in our authors. I just publish the book and collect my money on the back end because I know it's going to sell. Hasn't failed me. It's only failed me once. And I knew that going into it, but I'm like, I'll hook them up. I'll take this will be the self-imposed L, so I won't have none for a while. Hope Allah willing, right? So yeah, But then I think he came back and said, yeah, he has done it. Didn't say how, you know. And then I'm just like, sorry, you're just not going to convince me that something foreign is going to be connected to the indigenous people of that land. Like, why would does a Chinese, anybody, use anybody, Hindu, Nepalese. I like Nepalese people. There's a Nepalese person when they want to set up a business, and they trying to get out of, well, who is that? McDonald's is there, right? And McDonald's is trying to charge them tax. McDonald's can't tax them, right? In fact, my government is taxing you because you're on my land. It don't work like that, right? My government, the store next door that's owned by one of my people, oh yeah, they can tax me. You can't do it, right? So to make sure that I get avoid taxes at McDonald's, I'm gonna set up another identity on my land to avoid paying this company taxes. It's like, dude, you don't have to do that. All right. It seems to be a thing picking up amongst the Moors, where rather than complicate things, and again, this goes back to the seventh house thing or the Aries thing, my seventh house. We were instructed by the prophet to learn how to run a government, not replace a government. All right. I think I've mentioned this before. I honestly believe I have a theory. I have lots of theories. I have a theory that all of these events that happened that befell the Moors, it was to force us to get up off our lazy behinds because we were living in paradise. And actually, this has dragged us into the 21st century along with the rest of the world because everybody bites off of us, right? Or everybody bites off of whoever's biting off of us, right? So, yeah, like the South Africans, how they did it, right? Actually, Russia just did it too. How the South Africans, when they got their land back, they did not say, okay, tear the government down and we're going to build a whole new government, blah, blah, blah. No, they just replaced all the people. They kicked out all the whatever, the occupiers, the settlers, like dust or scum. They removed all the occupiers from office and replaced them with the people who should have been there in the first place, considering they were like 98% of the population and it's their land. Why do you want to, anyway, back to the topic, because I got to go to bed. I'm actually getting kind of tired. So I'm so glad I came on here, and I'm so glad the more I'm on, because dang, thank you all for stopping in. It's late. I was surprised anybody was actually going to show up, but thank you all. I appreciate that. And I'm glad I did this. And if I seem to be gushing, it's because the moon is in my seventh house. All right. So I'm feeling emotionally giving, right? Because it's a waning moon after the full moon. Once you harvest, what you getting ready to do with that harvest, right? And it's your last chance before a new cycle starts. You don't want nothing sitting in the closet rotting because it might start stinking up your life, right? So I'm giving an abundance of joy to the Moors, passionately, I guess, because that's what, Aries / Mars also rules passion, or it's one of the rules are passion. All the fire signs are passionate. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna make it about the Moors, right? Um, Peace to all the Moors, everybody who's joined. And I finally got a decent setup. I actually went and got a dang tripod so my phone. I don't have to set my phone on my computer. I was like, okay, just it's like $10. Just get a tripod. So now that's why nothing was shaking until I hit the desk. And now I can answer questions, right? I can actually read the chat now. This is great, right? And I'm like, dang, I didn't know people were actually chatting. I can't go back and read the chats on Instagram that I know of, but I can read them on YouTube. Um, and I actually had a couple of questions from the last few shows. I guess it's been three or four. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer those real quick. And hopefully those more will see this later. So the first one was from all that. All right. He asked, or they asked, how did you learn astrology? And I'm going to add that to my list. I started with astrology. I have a twin sister. She's older than me, and she had a book. She had the book, the only astrology book you'll ever need, right? Which is not. That title is so misleading. But it's a great beginner book, right? And I think she got it just so she knew. I guess she knew I would use it, and yeah, I took off with it. It was like the same thing. She got a crochet book and gave it to me. That was the end of that. Right. So she introduced me to tarot cards. It's like, wait a minute. It's like, what are you trying to do? Now that I think about it. But anyway, so I started with that book, and I just got into it. It's like, okay, you read your horoscope every day and read like three or four of them, and then you start picking up patterns. I'm a Gemini. I love patterns, right? Puzzles and all that stuff. So you start picking up patterns, and you start like, it makes you more aware of yourself. So you're your own study guide, right? So you have to tune into yourself and be like, okay, um I know my moon is here, so when the moon is there, I don't know, I'll break out right here. Which it can be that specific. It can't, astrology can't, because it's like tides, right? It can like pull something out of your skin. But yeah, and then the other, so I read a ton of books, right? And then I published Moorish books, so that helps. All right. Because Moors, it's like there's always going to be I don't think I've published a single book yet where astrology wasn't in there somewhere. Um, so yeah, how did I learn? I started with the only astrology book you'll ever need, and I just took it from there. I just kept going, right? But to be fair, I do have placements in my chart that make it like come kind of easy to me. The whole if you have any eighth house or Scorpio placements, you'll probably be or even 12th house, you'll probably be really, really good at astrology, especially eighth house placements, because those usually indicate you're good at being able to decipher symbols. Comes in real handy in astrology, right? All right. So the next question was Motherland Moors. She asked if tropical astrology is called Western astrology or Christian astrology, should Moors be making themselves subject to tropical astrology? And I actually touched on this last week. Um, First, it's not Christian astrology. You got to remember, these people were telling everybody it's demonic, burning all the people that knew how to throw bones and all that stuff, right? Burning, smashing sundials, making everybody wear a watch, all that stuff, right? Messing with the calendars, right? So it's not Christian. That's one. Uh, Two, it's Western because we're Western. Europeans are not Western. Okay, if you're going to designate a sphere with different regions or whatever, fine. Um, there's an ocean, and this is not, I'm not making fun of who asked the question. It's just like people just like give these Europeans credit they did not earn, and they are proving they don't deserve. All right. So there's an entire ocean between Asia and, we'll say Asia, Afro-Asia, okay? Pan-Asia, all right? There's the ocean. And then the Americas. That's the West, right? These Europeans are nuts, all right? And I'm going to say the ones who put this in place and the ones who keep pushing it, they're nuts, all right? These are the same people. I don't know about y'all, and I'm getting loud. I got to quiet down. It's like 11 o'clock. My fault. These are the people, when I was in grade school, the map of Africa said that Egypt was not part of Africa. It was part of the Middle East. So the map would show like the continent of Africa in green, and then Egypt would be orange. And I just remember for like 3 years, they just swore up, and I felt so bad for the teachers. It was on the maps. This was on the maps. All right. If you look at Europe, I don't care what they call it. There's a few things that make it pretty clear that that's not a continent. First of all, the continent is usually surrounded on all sides by water. You are separated by a mountain range from the rest of Asia. So does that mean Switzerland is not part of Europe because there's the Alps in the way? You all are insane. All right. All the continents start with A. Africa, America, Asia, the Arctic, and the Antarctic. And then there's Europe, the one that's connected to a landmass, but they somehow, no. That's over. That's over. Y'all can say whatever you want. Your father, you have inherited lies from your father. Deal with it, right? It's all good. So tropical astrology is ours. All right. Here's what I've learned in my studies. I will try to find the source, but I read a lot, so I don't know. Where someone pointed out how the Vatican archives didn't exist until after they came over here, right? And they were like, we're not saying that, okay, they came over here and they compiled their knowledge over the centuries and that was the archives. No, they came over here in 1492, and by 1495, they had those archives, right? When in Europe at that same time, I'm into books, big time into books. So I love studying books, right? At the time when that archive was stopped, right? Right before that, there were as many books in the collective. I don't even know if they had that many universities, but the few universities that the Europeans had, the total number of books didn't even equal what Moors had in their private studies, not libraries. All right. But now all of a sudden you got a 50 square mile library. So they steal everything, right? Why not throw astrology onto this list? Because what was the Renaissance? That's when they really came up with astrology. You mean to tell me another one? You so good at astrology, you wouldn't go further than 26 miles off of your coast because you thought the world was flat. That's the story they give us. But they weren't exploring the world, but these supposed to be the experts on astrology and reading the stars. Nope. So I'm gonna give that credit to the people who, it's all over the place, and it's starting to bubble up, right? All these paintings, it's like, where has this stuff been all this time, right? And there's lots of it. So tropical astrology is called tropical astrology because it's based on the movements of the eclipse or the sun across the ecliptic, right? And that's the eclipse, right? And then those two lines, the Tropic of Cancer and then the Tropic of Capricorn, right? We use it, I think I mentioned this, because it's tied to the seasons, right? And then Arabic, theirs is tied to like the royal stars like Aldebaran and Al Ghul. Like they got some crazy ones. There's some really crazy ones, right? And then if I understand this correctly, Vedic astrology, they say theirs is nailed to the nakshatras, which are, if I understand it correctly, you have the signs, and then inside of those, we call them decans, the where it's broken up into three things, and then and theirs kind of gradiate. A few of them gradiate, where they like fade into one sign. Two signs might have the same nakshatra, right? Because it'll like cross over one of them, and theirs are like, I think it goes, if I'm not mistaken, it's connected to the constellations, right? But like way more constellations than we use, because it's like, I think it's like 27 or something like that. It's a big number, right? So it's Western astrology because it came from over here, right? Um ain't no it's like, okay, these muds claim to have built pyramids in Africa, but there's none in Europe that they can explain where they came from. That kind of stuff. Stop giving these people credit. All right. They don't deserve it. So tropical astrology is us. It's that simple, right? I like to look at it like picking up somebody's accent. How people think, oh, we have Southern accents because that was the accents that they picked up the accents from the slave owners. Oh yeah. So if I go to England, right, and I run a company, everybody in that company is gonna pick up my accent. All right. Stop giving these people credit, right? Look beyond the position, whatever they think whatever their only power is the power of persuasion. Stop falling for it, right? Um, okay, and then I want to Al Basit L. Okay, what does a lot Al Manat Al Uza dealing with the three phases of the moon? What do they mean? I will have to look into that and get back to you. All right, and I think that's it. Thank you, Moors. Appreciate y'all. Um, Favor to the Aries moon. Okay. So if you know any Aries moons, give them a hug. Oh, don't hug them. Not today. They might be in a mood, right? They'll be better tomorrow because take them a gift because that's a day when they supposed to gain because the second house, the moon will be moving into Taurus. That's going to be a sweet day. So if you want to do something, plant a seed, right? Because the moon is exalted in Taurus, right? Don't It's not, like, or finish something up, right? Go ask somebody for some money they owe you, that kind of stuff. Look where Taurus is in your chart, and then it'll be telling you what the light is shining on for you to either harvest or get rid of. Okay. All right. And on that note, more. Thank you all. Before I forget, look, my first shirt. I actually pressed the shirt at the house because I'm trying to like close ranks and make people beg to get our stuff so I can tell them no. So this is the Unity Peace Pipe Ceremony shirt for the event that the Canaan Land Moors are having with the Moors in New Brunswick. And apparently this is gonna be like a thing. So yeah. If you want to, the shirts, and they will get better. This was my very first one ever using like the materials, pressing anything. All right, very first one. So I'm gonna count that as one of my achievements for the 77 day because I'm doing sewing, right? I'm gonna count this, right? Oh, and I should mention, skip clothes. I'm about to start making plushies. So yeah, plushies. So yeah, bought me a 10-pound bag, a box of fluff. It's about to be on. But like I was saying, you can get this shirt if you want to help the Moors to fund their trip because oh man, it's far. I think they say it's like 1,000 miles away or something like that, and I'm not joking. Right. But apparently it's beautiful that they waiting on them and they got some event planned for them. So if you want to help them to offset some of the costs, with I'm selling these shirts in our shop. You can go on the Canaan Land Moors site is up there. And the Moors who ordered, your shirts will be on the way. I've invested in Califa Media. I gotta share the news because it's just so great, right? And it's because of y'all. It's because of all the support I get from y'all. I was able to get a new printer, right? This one is like, okay, if you're opening a print shop and you trying to make the money to get the actual commercial space, get this printer. So yeah, this was printed on my little, regular little machine. No, y'all getting the one on it's got a 6-color tank. I'll find out what that means when I get it. All right. So yeah. Thank you all who ordered, those who haven't, go get you one, right? Get you a free not a free, get a souvenir, and it's actually helping some wars out. All right. And on that note, y'all be cool. And I will see you again in 2, and it's not half, 2 1/3 days, right? Or 2.33333 days. All right. So y'all be cool and enjoy your 77 days. Peace, Moors. All right. Islam in stream. Bye, y'all.